Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, we've gotten quite a bit of rain in the last 12 to 16 hours. If you're on my Patreon, you probably saw the video that I posted last night. I had finished up a video, was trying to actually hurry up and get the video done because as I was making the video, I could see the storm clouds and hear the thunder move in. And it was just a couple of minutes after I finished it, it just started pouring. And it rained so hard over an hour. It was one of the hardest rains I've ever seen for an hour. And these creeks, there's a creek here, a little one, and then that's the big one. They almost, for the first time, especially in that quick a time, almost were out of bounds. I mean, they rose so rapidly. I've never seen them with just an hour of rain. I've never seen these creeks go up so quickly. Where I'm standing right now, I was shin deep in water. So anyways, still coming down. We got a lot of rain for today, and I'm certainly not complaining because we were actually just a little shy on rainfall so far. So this is good for us. Want to talk about, well, what I've been talking about for days. And I know that it's probably no longer the hot topic because you know how it is on social media nowadays that, you know, it's like a 20-minute news cycle. So every so often, every short amount of time, it's a new thing to talk about and people lose interest. After I've said this before that after about 3 or 4 days of something, people start to lose interest. No matter how important it is, they start to lose interest in it. So I get it that there's a lot of people talking about other stuff. But this border stuff is important. I know that the debt crisis and the debt ceiling is looming, and that's a big deal. I know that World War III with Russia and China is just around the corner, and that is important also. I know all these other issues are very important, but as I am speaking to you, as you are watching this video, this nation is being invaded by tens of thousands of people. Many of them are violent criminals, and certainly some of them are foreign nationals that may be coming with the intent of doing this nation harm in some type of espionage or just overt military-style attack. Because we've been seeing crimes and we've been seeing just violence increase in this country, and part of it is due to the influx of illegals coming across the border. Today is the end of Title 42. Been talking about this for quite a while now. It's been building up, and even though Title 42 has existed over the last several days, the increase of illegals coming across the border is it's compounding. Yesterday, Border Patrol stated that they apprehended 18,000 people crossing the border. That's apprehended, folks, 18,000, just under. That is not including the people that they were not able to apprehend. And of course, as the influx continues, it makes sense that there's probably going to be a lot more that they don't catch because they're so overwhelmed. The Border Patrol Union has stated just that they are becoming absolutely overwhelmed at the border, that they cannot keep up. Their agents, they're not able to handle it. Now, excuse me. Of course, we've been hearing that the Texas National Guard is down there, and Texas DPS, trying to also secure the border. Well, there's something here that you probably are very interested in seeing or hearing about, because I have been saying for quite a while that this is an overt, coordinated effort of invading this nation. This isn't just happen chance that people just decided to start coming across the border to try to come to America. It's not that. And so if any of you still think that all these people that are coming to, America illegally, it's just a coincidence that they're doing this. It's just a coincidence that all of a sudden they all want to come here. Well, you'd be wrong, because this is a definite coordinated effort to come into this country illegally. The Center for Immigration Studies yesterday reported on, and they're a nonpartisan organization, they reported on that they have pretty much conclusive evidence the Department of Homeland Security has been communicating with illegals on the Mexican side of the border through encrypted chat rooms telling them where to cross and certain areas of the border to cross, that they can avoid the Texas National Guard and the Texas Department of Public Safety, so that they can cross where only Border Patrol is at. And of course, Border Patrol will just let them through and process them into the country, whereas there's video and evidence of National Guard that's actually trying, Texas National Guard, that they are trying to actually prevent them from entering the country. And so our own Department of Homeland Security, to me, this is treasonous. This is absolute treason, that United States federal employees, under the direction, you would assume, of Biden and his administration, is coordinating with illegals outside of this country and giving them assistance on how to enter this country, how to break the law and enter this country criminally. This, to me, if nothing else, is conclusive evidence that that this is a coordinated attack, a coordinated invasion of this country. There's also video and photos yesterday, because there's, obviously a lot of people on the ground trying to report on this, that there are individuals handing out packets of information. In the video, the people wouldn't say who they were or who they were with, but they were handing out packets, envelopes, and here's a picture here, assisting them, telling them that they have, Fifth Amendment rights to not answer questions, that they don't have to talk to police. Who knows what's inside these envelopes. There was some other interviews done with illegals that made it across, and they were showing documents and papers that they were receiving from random individuals, teaching them, telling them, how to seek asylum, where to go when you get in here, what type of, assistance they can receive, how to ask for it, all those different ways. So there are definite, and of course I've reported on this for months now, that the UN has admitted that they have been on the southern portion of the border down into Mexico for over a year now, 2 years now, teaching people that are attempting to cross the border, teaching them how to cross the border and what to say when they get here, where to go, what type of assistance, how to get attorneys, all this type of stuff. This is definitely a coordinated effort to invade this nation. When they come across, a lot of these people, once they are apprehended, they are given court dates so that they can figure out in court whether or not they can stay here or not. Well, right now, because of the backlog, the court dates are 3 to 4 years into the future. So they're going to be here in this country for 3 to 4 years before it's determined whether or not they can actually legally stay here. It's an absolute insanity that we're seeing. I believe personally that the states on the border, like Texas, should invoke Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution, which says that basically a state does have the right to raise an army and repel an invasion if it's an immediate threat. They do have that right. And so that's what I think should happen with these border states. And the states that do that could actually go create a compact with other states to help repel this invasion. This is a serious thing, and I know that most of you understand it. Some do not. Some don't see it as a big deal. Some look at it through humanitarian eyes. I get the, what would Jesus do? Would he not just allow these people in? I don't believe so. There's no scriptural evidence that indicates that. Jesus definitely talked about obeying the laws, not just man's laws, but also God's laws. And there's nothing that indicates that this is what would happen. These people are coming across, many of them, with the intent to do crimes. And some of them, they have to be almost criminals because of desperation. They come here with virtually nothing. The social services are so overwhelmed that they can't even handle them. They've already talked about in the last couple of days how these detention centers and these holding centers along the border are so overwhelmed that they can't even hold them. So these people come here and they have no place to go. They can't even keep them in a detention center. And so the DHS chief actually stated in the last few days that they're putting them into buses and they're just taking them throughout the United States. We don't know where. They won't tell us. And they're literally just dropping them off at gas stations, at grocery stores, at bus stops with nothing. They have nothing. They have no money. They have no food, probably a free cell phone that the government gave them. And so what are they supposed to do? Well, many of them, at least in the beginning, resort to some type of petty crimes just so that they can eat, so that they can have clothing, so that they can have food, because they have nothing. Local social services and charitable organizations, not just along the border, but anywhere these people are being dropped off, get overwhelmed very quickly also. And I believe, again, this is all being done with specific intent to tear down this nation. It makes no sense any otherwise. You cannot see all this, I believe, and make a valid argument that they're not trying to destroy this country. We are at war, folks. This is an absolute invasion, and this is war. And I believe that this is just one more big step in the whole Great Reset Agenda 2030 to bring down America. If you read those plans and you understand their globalist intent, you'd have to come to the conclusion that it really can't ever take effect as long as the United States is still a free and independent nation. The only way that these globalist plans can actually happen is if America falls to its knees. And I believe all the things that we've been seeing over the last couple of years is just that. Their desperation and intent to bring America down. And this may be the thing that does it. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands a month, millions of people a year more coming across this country, many of them criminals, but all of them desperate for something that they need. And we have to take care of them. Hospitals are overwhelmed. Medical bills will go skyrocket. Social services and private nonprofits are overwhelmed, so there'll be less for American citizens. Housing will be overwhelmed. Property values will decline. Crimes all over, whether they be petty theft all the way up to violent criminal acts, are going to be happening. And it's going to just overburden the system that's already kind of teetering on the edge of not being able to support itself. So it's very possible that we could see America start declining even more rapid than we have in the last few years. We have to start looking at this as an absolute invasion. This country is being destroyed from within because of the leadership, the corporate heads, the politicians, the people with the money that want to see America fail so that they can be part of this one world government satanic utopia that they've been so desperately trying to create for so many years. Folks, it's serious, and you need to be serious about it. You need to be getting your houses in order. You need to be getting self-sufficient. You need to be building tribes with other folks around you that you know and trust so that you can aid in helping each other and that you can come to each other's defense. You need to be making sure that you have defense plans, especially if you live in any areas that might be more prone to see these illegals. And the fact is at this point, we don't really even know where that is. They could be randomly dropping them off in a city block corner store near you. So you need to be getting ready for that, stocking up, prepping up, praying up, and mentally preparing for the rapid changing nation that we are seeing. Get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.